Now we move on and we start with Denmark. Denmark's foreign minister has stated that US President Donald Trump has signaled positive moves regarding Greenland, including a promise not to use military force in his push for control. Trump has also announced he would pause his trade war and scrap the threat of tariffs on European allies after meeting with NATO chief Mark Rutte at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Trump has revealed that he has reached a framework for a deal on Greenland, a move that could help ease tensions between the US and Denmark. Meanwhile, the Danish defense minister has said that he hoped the United States would participate in future NATO exercises in the Arctic despite current disputes over Greenland. Let's in fact listen into what the defense minister has shared.
Vi har været meget åbne omkring det, vi har gjort. Vi har orienteret både SACEUR, altså NATO's militærchef, men også vores amerikanske allierede om de initiativer, vi har taget i forhold til øget militær tilstedeværelse. Og der har også været en drøftelse i rammen af alle NATO-lande omkring de øvelsesaktiviteter, der kommer til at finde sted her i 2026. Og der er det også min forventning, at vi kommer til forhåbentlig at se amerikansk deltagelse senere i den her uge.
Now for this discussion, we welcome Professor Rohan Gunratna. He's an international affairs expert, joins us live from Singapore. Thank you very much, Professor Gunratna, for joining us. Good to see you. Now we saw that Rutte and Trump had a good talk, in Trump's words. Don't you think that Mark Rutte is walking in eggshells around Trump, as we know that he did not actually discuss the elephant in the room with him?
Asuma, what is happening now is that President Trump himself is realizing the huge opposition that he is facing from America's own allies in Europe and also from other countries of his intention to take over Greenland. So he has started a dialogue both with Denmark and also key personalities in NATO about what is happening in Greenland. So there is a decision now taken for the US to participate more actively in securing Greenland, because Trump's main concern is that either the Russians or the Chinese will take over Greenland, and Trump's second concern is about Arctic security. So to build an environment that is in favor of the Western Hemisphere, that is US and European countries, there is some rapprochement between the United States and the European countries with regard to the Greenland issue. So it is very likely that the United States will participate in the exercises, military exercises in Greenland with regard to enhancing Arctic security versus Trump intervening unilaterally in Greenland.
As you mentioned, Trump might participate, or US might participate in protecting Greenland or NATO exercises in Greenland. So can we say if Trump's goal from the beginning was to raise alarm over the strategic importance of Greenland, do you think he has achieved his goal or not?
I believe that this is Trump's style of dealing. Now, initially he said he wants to empty Gaza and create a Riviera there. And then later, of course, he agreed to a settlement where the Palestinians can remain, but Hamas and other terrorist groups cannot participate in any kind of elections or have any role in the governance of Gaza. So similarly, what we are seeing is today, Trump has come to some kind of settlement with the Europeans. Number one, not to militarily capture Greenland. And that is a very important thing, because if he does that, it will break the US alliance with the Europeans. Second is, of course, there is dialogue, there is discussion, and that itself can pave the way for a negotiated settlement where US has a bigger presence in Greenland, and then these fears that the Russians or Chinese will take over Greenland or will exercise greater control in the Arctic region, these concerns will slowly fade away.
So, like now that we see, the trust has been shaken in NATO, do you think that it is shaken or not? And also this transatlantic shift, do you think Europe is not as important for US in Trump's eyes?
You are absolutely correct that the trust has been disrupted. So the trust needs to be restored, it needs to be rebuilt, and it will take time so that the Europeans again will not feel that they are being treated second class. Of course, the Americans want the European alliance, although America is a hyperpower, that is even higher than any other superpower. America doesn't want to lose that alliance because they have been friends for a long time and they have worked together on security. In fact, the Americans have another alliance other than NATO, another partnership called Five Eyes, that is the US working with Canada, with UK, with Australia and New Zealand. So all these alliances, all these treaties, all these relationships, cooperation, collaboration, all this will be disrupted if Trump militarily intervenes in the Arctic region. So that's why I think now there is some sense prevailing and they are moving in a more strategic direction of discussion and dialogue versus military intervention.
Yes, and also, although military intervention seems like it's out of, and it's not an option anymore from what Trump has said. We never know, of course, but the stakes are too high. What would a good, realistic deal look like for Greenland and Europe with US?
US having greater control over Greenland, Denmark can still own it, but I believe that the decision has already been made by Trump in his mind to have a significant presence and play a significant role in Arctic security. That means more surveillance, more reconnaissance, more intelligence collection, more basing of troops in Greenland. All these are likely possibilities because the legacy he wants to leave behind is a strong United States and a strong Western civilization. So I think he will do that. He will work with the Europeans, and if the Europeans are uncooperative, he himself will unilaterally take certain decisions. And I think the Europeans understand it too, because none of them have really taken him on. Of course, they have expressed their views, but I think that the next phase will be discussion, dialogue, and coming to a shared commitment to enhance Arctic security.
With that, I would like to thank Professor Gunratna for